Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshయం Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti has his 5 phase, Agora Murti has his 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has his 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase, Ishana Murti has his 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam has made science of power manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam and Nityananda Order of monks, nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time-capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Surya Vamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas, exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva Gana. All the Shiva Ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva.
choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity which is authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. Diksha or the initiation from His Divine Holiness Nityananda Paramashivam makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas are the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas are the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Nityananda Jnanapadati for the power of depth dimension. Here, let's go to the satsang for powerful cognition from Swamiji's Bhagavad Gita Decoded series.
Fourth chapter of the Gita starts with a beautiful sloka. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praham manurikshvagam apraveet. Imam vivasvate yogam प्रोक्तवानहम अव्ययम् विवस्ववान् मनवे प्रागम् मनुरिक्ष्वागवे प्रवीत्. The translation goes, Lord Sri Krishna says, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ishvagu. We need to understand, Krishna is just 32-year-old when he gives this statement. He is just 32-year-old. Physically, his body is only 32-year-old. But he says, I gave this knowledge to Surya, to sun god. Of course, very difficult to understand. With logic, you cannot understand this statement. With ordinary logic, which you are using in your daily life, you cannot make any meaning out of this statement. And he goes on. The next statement says, Evam parampara praptamimam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neka mahata yogo nashta parantapaha. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. The science as it is appears to be lost. These two slokas should be understood. First thing, the truth is not new. It is eternal. It is neither new nor old. It is eternal. Eternal means it is there forever. It never becomes old. It is never new. Eternal means beyond time. Anything which can be described based on the time, only those things can be said as new or old. Anything new will become old one day. Anything old was new at some day. Eternal means it is beyond new and old. It is there from time immemorial, but it has never become old. That is what meant by the word eternal. Here, this science of enlightenment is eternal, nitya. It is neither new nor old. The science which we learnt yesterday, or the science which he is going to explain further. Yesterday he gave the first glimpse, the first thing to be understood. That's the first glimpse. First glimpse. If you allow those words to penetrate you, if you open yourself to those words, straight away those words can give you the first glimpse of enlightenment. They can lead you to the first step of ultimate liberation. Understanding the purposelessness of life, all the stress, pressure, load, whether it is physical or mental, will be taken away from your being. You are liberated in that same moment. Krishna doesn't give you any technique which will work in course of time. In course of time. There are techniques which works in course of time. You will continue to practice. Maybe your son or your grandson will have the result. No. He says, now here or nowhere. Whether you have the result now here or nowhere. All his techniques straight away gives you the experience. If you can allow that one idea of purposelessness, the beauty of purposelessness into your consciousness, in that very moment, the breeze of enlightenment will happen to your heart. That very moment, the healing of your being will start. Healing of Bhavaroga, healing of the samsara roga, the birth and death disease will start its process. He says, 5,000 years ago, I gave this science to Surya, to the sun god, and the sun god instructed to Vivaswan, and sun god instructed to Manu. Sun god is Vivaswan. He instructed to Manu. Manu instructed the same thing to Ishwagu. He gives the disciplic succession. He gives that parampara, that Guru Sishya parampara. In course of time, Yogo nashta parantava. This science is lost. You should understand why this science is lost. When a disciple who listens, if he is not sincere, if he is not completely ready, naturally the technique becomes ritual. Understand, there is only one difference between technique and ritual. When it is done sincerely, even ordinary ritual will become a great meditation technique which leads you to enlightenment. When it is done without sincerity, as a routine, without understanding, as a routine, even a meditation technique will become a ritual. The only difference between meditation technique and ritual is sincerity, nothing else. It is just the sincerity. In course of time, the science is lost. Here is a beautiful word. The supreme science was taught, the supreme science was delivered. It doesn't, you don't lose that supreme science just in one generation. In one generation, it never gets lost. In course of time, somebody or other, even a single unenlightened disciple is enough to destroy the whole science. Even a single person in that chain is enough to break the disciplic succession. Small story in Zen Buddhism. A disciple of a great master, he is sitting and talking about Zen to his followers. One enlightened master comes to him and asks, you yourself have not become enlightened. What right do you have to teach Zen? This disciple, out of ego, the big problem is when your master creates a big movement, and if you come to his seat without having the qualification, you are the most dangerous person. I have seen the people who just come into the throne as a successor, they are the most dangerous people. They will have everything except enlightenment. Person who creates a movement, he will create only out of energy and enlightenment. If he doesn't have, no movement will be created around him. But the person who succeeds, for him, it's just a gift. The whole movement is gift. He has got a complete infrastructure set up, but he doesn't have anything to share. Person who writes just because he is a writer is a dangerous person. Person who writes because he has got something to write, that's okay. Only he can be called as writer. Small story. One guy said, only after writing 5 bestsellers I realized I don't know anything. Friend asked, then did you stop writing? No, by then I have become too famous, I can't stop. When you get somebody's throne as a successor, they will be filled with ego. They have everything except enlightenment. I always tell people, never go to the successors, because the whole setup is created by somebody and they just represent. They don't have something from their experience. They are good librarians. but not masters. We must be very clear between the difference between librarians and masters. Librarians are good, they preserve the books, but they can only preserve the books, not more than that. This person is also a good librarian, good parrot. He can repeat the whole thing. He is out of ego, says, don't you know I am the disciple of that great master? This Zen master laughs. He just laughs and says, if you wash the cup in which you kept the tea, will that water have the same taste of the tea? Can you say the water which is used to wash the cup in which the tea is kept is equivalent to tea? How much of relationship will be there between the tea and the water which is used to wash the cup of the tea? For example, in one cup tea is there, in the other cup, the empty tea cup has been washed, that water is kept. What will be the relationship between the cup of the tea and the water which is used to wash the cup of the tea? There will be no relationship. Hardly you may have the smell of the tea in the water. So, if a person is not enlightened and just a successor, he will be dangerous. He will be dangerous. He will carry just the book, not the knowledge.
Verse 1.16 शुद्धतत्त्वसन्धानाद्वा अपशुशक्तिः शुद्धतत्त्वसन्धानाद्वा अपशुशक्तिः.
Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.16. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the self and aiming at the pure essence, cognizing from the depth of one's being that all that exists is Paramashiva, the pure essence, Suddha Tattva, and attaining, uniting with the pure essence and essential reality, Paramashiva, he experienced Paramashiva and manifest Paramashiva's infinite power. Such beautifully Bhagavan gave the powerful cognition. How? If you don't do puja in the right context, it will be only ritual. Ritual does not lead you anywhere. If you are not living the right context, wherever you are, you will be not aligned to the highest reality, then it does not expand for you nor anybody around you. And if you are there in the place where others are experiencing the higher reality, you will simply misguide everybody. And he says, very important, satsanga is so important because the satsanga evolves you into the right cognition, right reality. The ritual becomes puja only when you start aligning to the thought current, the cognition, the context of how you exist. Again and again, Bhagavan beautifully gives us that by fixing the self, aiming the pure essence, cognizing from the depth of one's being, living intensely, authentically, and from the depth that all exists is Paramashiva, the pure essence, the Suddha Tattva, and attaining and uniting with the pure essence and essential reality, Paramashiva, he experienced Paramashiva and manifests Paramashiva's infinite power. Beautifully, Bhagavan gives us that how we live as Paramashiva, experience Paramashiva, manifest Paramashiva's infinite powers that exist as reality. More and more, Bhagavan gives us the higher way of existence and makes us manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Unless we decide in our mind every thought that we have to align to Paramashiva, it never going to break into the new reality. Constantly, the mind is throwing thoughts from the past and the future, confusing us to bring us to again and again the identity that we are publishing. But understanding the higher reality, breaking from the mind thought current, and understanding that I am Paramashiva, I need to manifest, not think. I don't have to plan, but manifest. I don't have to schedule, but I have to manifest. I do not have to worry, but I have to manifest. Constantly in everything, Bhagavan says, walking, talking, seeing, deciding, any action, any thought, and any word, is it about Paramashiva? No. Then drop it. Again and again, living that in every action, especially the spiritual routine, you will gain the highest knowledge of Paramashiva. Such a powerful cognition Bhagavan has given. With that, let's go to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana are the objects floating in the water. As per Ramayana, writing the names of Rama on heavy stones infuses so much consciousness into the stone that they simply float on the stone. The power of the depth that will the will or consciousness simply makes the technology breakthrough in the rock, and they are used to build a bridge to Lanka, the kingdom of Ravana. This is from Valmiki Ramayan, Yuddha Khanda, chapter 22, Floating Rocks. It's so beautiful that power of the Rama Nama makes even a rock float on the water. It is said there was a wedge between the Sri Lanka and India, and on the wedge there was like water, and they had to fill the water with sand and stones and make a path to go to Sri Lanka. And here, beautifully, just by chanting Ramanama and writing the Ramanama on the stones, simply they were able to infuse the consciousness into the stones and make it float in the water instead of going to the depth of the wedge. But the Ramanama were able to hold the beautiful stones together and make a bridge for Rama and Sita and Rama and Lakshmana to walk towards the Sri Lanka. All this Apta Pramana is given in the Yuddha Khanda, Floating Rocks of Ramayana. Now let's go to the Atma Pramana. Atma Pramana is Swamiji's Leela. Here he tells you the instant from his life. Actually, if you see the moment of happiness or joy happen when the mind stops, this may happen for few seconds, few moments, but the impression of the relaxation from dropping from the mind will be tremendous. When I say the mind stops, I mean the mind gives a gap sometimes. It is the gap, this gap that becomes the unforgettable memory. This was during my wandering days before enlightenment. I was walking from one city to another in India on the way to the place called Omkareshwar. There is a thick jungle and the river flowing between the two hillocks that are completely made of marble stones. Between the two hillocks, the sacred river Narmada flows. On the full moon night, I was just walking with a stick in my hand, swinging the stick and singing to myself. I was walking alongside the river. I was going down the small valley And when I reached it and I looked up and saw the big cliff in front of me, I saw on both sides the two big hillock shining in the full moon because it was white marble. It was simply shining in the moonlight. The river was so beautiful, flowing with a mild murmur. Suddenly, I saw the both hillock were bridged, and there was a physical connection between them in mid of the air. I went bit near and saw the whole thing was a honeycomb, and the honeycomb was at least 400 feet long. I had done many different types of tapas and tried different types of meditation techniques actually. I literally killed myself with these meditation techniques. Finally, a very sudden and deep depression landed on me. I had deep feeling of being cheated and thought of myself for a sake of enlightenment. I have left my family, whatever has to be done according to the Vedic scriptures. Almost everything has been done by me, yet it is not happening. No enlightenment, only days are passing. One day, suddenly, maybe in the evening at around 4, I felt excruciating pain along with my deep depression. I felt that nothing more could be done, that there is no need to live anymore because whatever has been to be done has been done. I never learned anything towards material life. So I thought, and after I had to become enlightened or I had to die. I was convinced that the whole concept of enlightenment was just a story. I thought it was never going to happen in my life. I felt that at least there is no possibility of for it in my life. So I decided let me commit suicide. It was such an excruciating pain that made me decide to commit suicide. Of what use is this all? I felt I believe in these people and wasted my precious youth. I no longer have any trust in these great master like Ramakrishna and Ramana. They had misled me. I was on the bank of the river Narmada in Omkareshwar. This is the place where Shankara became enlightened. I entered the Narmada river between the two hillocks. Runs very deep and fast. It has a big falls as well. I started walking when the water started coming up to my hip. In the terrible fear, I just shut my eyes tightly and continued walking. I continued walking and walking. I could feel the water continuously raising in the level at the point I felt my breath to be very painful. I was breathing the pain inside, the suffering inside. So much of pain had gone inside. And at the moment, something hit me suddenly. Something broke. When the breath came out, it came out just as bliss. But I found that I was continuing to go inside the river. I was just moving since I had my eyes tightly closed. I don't know how much distance I had walked. When the breath came out with bliss, I felt completely regenerated. It was as if the whole of my life had entered me. I fell down and saw that I was in other's shore. I do not know what happened. What I'm telling you is simple truth. I do not know what happened in between, whether I walked through the water or I walked on the pebbles and rocks. I don't know. Suddenly, I could very clearly feel that Narmada was laughing at me. The river Narmada is considered as a virgin girl, Shiva's daughter. I very clearly see she was laughing at me. I wanted to share the experience just to tell you that when you touch the deep core of pain, you will see the bliss opens in you. Again, Bhagwan says, I wanted to share the experience just to tell you that when you touch the deep core of pain, you will see the bliss opens in you. The powerful cognition, Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramana, and Atma Pramana, and Shakshi Pramana. Shakshi Pramanas are the initiated disciple devotees, Balasans all over the world, demonstrating and sharing their experiences. For the power of depth, making the object float in the water vertically. Here we have in the Kailash courtyard. Once she says she entered in oneness with Swamiji, oneness with the water, oneness with the matter. The bowl was kept approximately 10 feet away from me. It is difficult to show the spoon, but in the before picture, the matter was completely right side and floating completely on the top of the water. In the after oneness picture, the spoon is the side, its side had sunk into the water. So beautiful. Now let's go to the instruction and Pratyaksha Pramana for manifesting the power of depth.
Pratyaksha Pramana. Scientific studies. What can be measured? Measuring the effects of being in enlightenment state. Vedic sciences have always maintained that consciousness is the very substance of space and time. His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Paramahamsa Nityananda, has clearly defined the existence of 11 dimensions of consciousness. As per his elucidation, space can exist by itself. On the other hand, time can exist only in the presence of space, but can still exist without other dimensions, including the obvious ones, depth, length, and breadth. Source from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 2, Consciousness, page 83. In quantum terms, thought too is energy. Every cell of our body produces thoughts in the form of signals, which may be electrical, chemical, or otherwise. These can be measured in TPS, or thoughts per second. The normal TPS of the average human being can be hundreds of or thousands. Some thoughts are processed consciously, while others are processed unconsciously. A TPS of 0 is the state of Advaita, or enlightenment. Space is made up of strings of potential energy, which are in constant vibration, spanda, leading to the creation of virtual particles. This is the very basis of the Vedic truth of consciousness. In the Avatar Shastra, Swamiji mentions quantum physicist Amit Goswami's article about entanglement between two people. Quantum physicist of Indian origin, Amit Goswami, made two people meditate together. They were separated in two chambers, one person in each. When one person had a light stroked at his eye, it caused the firing of certain frequency in the brain. Remarkably, at the same moment, the other person's brain also fired, even though he never saw the light. This proves that the energies of people intuitively affect each other.
There are two kinds of movement in the world. One kind of movement is maximum speed limit with the speed of light. That's the kind of movement that is allowed in the domain that we call space and time. That's where matter moves, that's where things look diverse. But the other kind of domain is where the speed of communication is infinite. We call it non-local. That's the domain of potentiality. And if there is instant connection in that domain, then do you see it got to be one? If things are instantly interconnected, that interconnectedness is a oneness. That is the oneness that mystics and spiritual teachers talk about. That is the oneness. So simply by recognizing that objects are possibilities, we are looking at a oneness. And then it's just a question of language. Question of language. What should we call this oneness?
Whole brain activation studies were done on Nityananda Gurukul students. The Bender-Gestalt test assesses the level of whole brain activation, the student's ability to see the big picture and recall the details of it. It is more than an IQ test. It was showing outstanding results on the memory ability of the Gurukul students. It is very unusual for students to remember such a high number of Gestalt forms. Each Gurukul student attended to the test card carefully and persistently transposed the Gestalt form. Remaining calm, cool, and collected, they initially approached each Gestalt form with a keen observation and analysis of the form, and then exhibited a steady perseverance, attending a minute details. Source: Avatar Shastra, Chapter 8, Third Eye Awakening, page 177. Charting Future Terrain with Higher Education. This article explores the role of contemplative practices within an emerging interdisciplinary area that are referred to as creativity and consciousness studies. Within the new area, consciousness is studied from an integral perspective that brings together insights from a range of wisdom traditions and modern science. Meditation is presented as an essential first-person modality for investigating consciousness, and formal and non-formal approaches to meditation and delineated to establish important guidelines for the introduction of meditation into an academic setting. The role of first-person experience helps to develop new notions of rigor and interdisciplinary learning that can lead to an expanded educational experience, which can help to develop qualities such as mental clarity, inner calm, insights, compassion, and creativity. The article closes with reflections on the importance of expanding our approach to education in light of the demanding challenges and creative opportunities in today's world. Source: Meditation, Creativity, and Consciousness. Depth dimension. Power of making the object float in the water vertically. With Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam. Setting up. For the setting up process, we will need a camera with a timestamp, Yananjana, a matchstick, and a cup or a bowl of water. Let's take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, download the timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure that the time is shown on screen. Step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Guidelines. Before we start the manifestation process, let us go through the guidelines to get ourselves ready. Set up. For the setup, step number 1, we will need to place a cup or a bowl of water in front of you, along with few matchsticks. Step number 2, set up your recording device to capture in full view the bowl or the water throughout the manifestation process. To start, step number 3, turn on the video recording device with the timestamp. Step number 4, apply Yananjana between your eyebrows if you have it. Bring your awareness between your eyebrow center and gently focus while connecting to Paramashiva. Step number 5, drop the matchstick in the water and free yourself of any expectation that arises. Step number 6, sit unclutched for 21 minutes, listening to the Mahavakya chanting. Step number 7, when the Mahavakya subsides, verify the vertical float of matchstick in the glass or the bowl of water. Step number 8, in full view at all times, carefully bring the camera closer to capture the manifestation. Step number 9, turn off your camera, celebrate and enjoy. We will now move into the spiritual instructions.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck, and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually, our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and or egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg, and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva, sitting, means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hence, sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence. The Shaktipada makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes these external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful
avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagwan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shape form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched, by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of be unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump, the transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya, pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here, Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness, through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection? So they start manifesting the powers. They start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nityananda. Nityananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye. Again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone. Nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers
in all our third eye. Om Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pool, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Jnananda Paramashivam.
नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्। 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please ensure to thoroughly verify that the time and date stamp appears on your video. Verify that your video has a wide-angle horizontal view. Verify that your video recording is continuous without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Verify that you have not edited your video in any way and that the camera has not moved. But during the verification process, you will need to reposition the camera to capture the matchstick inside the cup of water. Next is the video verification. Video verification of the floating matchstick in the water vertically. Now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will guide you how to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotiyar Manifesting Power Groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer that asking Bhagwan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra, thanking Bhagwan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the Power Manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nityananda Parameshwaram Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnanapadati, Nityananda Jnanapadati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nityananda.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham